back to another walking tour and idealista review of the different properties available here in this fantastic area called Marxalenes. Now, let's just give you some context as to where exactly Marxalenes is relative to the part that you probably all recognize, which is the Ciudad Vella, the old city right here. So Marxalenes is on the outside. Now, lots of people who come to Valencia fall in love with the city within the Turia. That's this big park, but I think there's so much more value, both in terms of growth potential and lifestyle. Value actually outside of the city centre for a whole number of reasons, but perhaps we'll go into them in another day. So this area here, the area in question is Marcelenes or La Saidia, which is, I believe, the exit. And it's, I guess, yeah, it kind of is out of the Turia. So as you uh, come out of the old city and go across this big bridge, you're introduced to these other really awesome and very central areas. So here, you're looking at maybe, what was it, like maybe 1 kilometer. So, the whole city from all the way here, all the way, from the north to the south is super walkable. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. Of course, we'll be using Idealista, and the typical thing that I like to do is go on the filters for the last 48 hours, and let's see what ads here we have in the last 48 hours. So benchmarking, we're looking at around 2,700 euros per meter square. So 70 meter square, if a 70 meter square apartment, you're looking at around 180, 190k, perhaps even, upwards of 250k for a 90 meter square apartment. Typical rent, we're looking at 16 euros per meter squared a month. So that will run you around 1,100, 1,200, perhaps even 1,300 for your uh, two bed or, spacious one bed for a 70 meter squared apartment. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, so slim pickings, it seems, in Marxalenes. Now, let's see what we have close to us now as we're kind of walking within this area. Okay, so 81 meters squared, 3 bedrooms, 230,000 euros. Second floor without lift. Now that's a shame. I guess it's the second floor, so you're looking around 30 steps, not too bad. Um, I've invested and lived in an apartment which was at the top of the building, so fifth floor with no elevator, 91 steps, and that was I don't think I would do it again. Let's look through and see what we have. Okay, so this apartment overlooks a beautiful Marxalenes Park, massive bonus. Amazing exterior facing, so lots of these apartments have, they're either internal or external facing. So this faces the outside, looks onto the road, as opposed to the kind of middle cavity corridor bit of these kind of buildings, which were built in 60s and 70s. Interesting. You've got the old electric system, so it's the lights are on, so the electric still work, but your power might trip if you have a lot of appliances on. So it's not really built for, it's not the right infrastructure for like modern appliances. You also have this lovely textured popcorn walls, or as they call them here in Spain, goteli, and yeah, they're just an eyesore, bit of a pain to remove, but if you've got the patience or the money, not a problem. Again, very dated. This hasn't been updated since the 1970s. I think that's those tiles have been painted. Is that tile paint? Yeah, I think so. I think they painted over the tiles, which is, but look at those lovely blue tiles on the floor. That's quite nice. Yeah, you're kind of bog standard 1960s built apartment. Well, actually, I would say a bit better than bog standard because it is actually quite nice. Lovely tiles. You could lean into this. You could, if you wanted to get this on the market quickly, be it like rental or just make a quick flip, it really wouldn't be that hard. You could revinyl the cabinet. Um, maybe put a new countertop in. It's slightly dated. Change the sink. It's got the stone, old stone one. But these tiles are in good condition. You could definitely do. You wouldn't have to completely remove it. Could even paint the tiles again. New floor would be easy to. You could put those like really convincing like vinyl tile thingies on the floor. But yeah, really, look, this is really beautiful. Would I buy it for 230? Probably not. Uh, but very nice. Very, very nice. Okie dokie. Yeah. Property prices are just boiling up around here. And then you have this one for 345, 5 bedrooms, 149 meters squared. This is quite good. I would say this is quite a good investment, really. If you get all of the rooms on if you rent it by the room, which I would actually recommend doing, if you're afraid of stubborn tenants, because there's more tenants regulating one another as opposed to just one power dynamic being you and the tenant. There's other power dynamics and other dynamics which ultimately complicate the the tenant landlord relationship, making it, I guess, potentially less stressful to manage. That's my take on it. So yeah, would need an update. But if you were to rent it by the room, let's say modest 500 euro per room, you're looking at 2,500 euros a month. After taxes, you're looking at maybe 2,100 take home pay, which is really good. So yeah, I mean, would I purchase this? No, not for me. Uh, Super expensive. I don't think I could drop that much money on a property around here. Typically because probably because you could just go actually further out of Valencia and then get a mansion for that price. But yeah, okay, cool. So we've seen all there is to see. Let's see the last week now. One area which one part of Marxalenes which I really like is this kind of art gallery. It's a digital art gallery, but any area which has the art, such an art gallery, or there are a couple galleries, or there's a museum. It's a safe bet. It's a safe bet. 4 bedroom, 120 meters squared in total, third floor with lift. That's great. It has a lift. 330,000. Again, that's steep, and you have these really god awful AI pictures which are just not great. Yeah, I mean, again, this I believe is interior facing, right? It's an interior facing apartment. So yeah, 330,000. I think it's a bit overpriced, but a lot of people are saying the market is overvalued, overvalued, overvalued. And yes, like the market is really overvalued right now. Uh, but technically it's always been, right? I remember when I purchased a property here in, was it this area? it was for 60,000 euros. And, you know, I would tell the laborers who came to work on the property that I bought for 60,000 euros. And they looked at me with like such like, oh, disappointment. Well, you got ripped off. Like, it's worth 30. Um, and I sold it for a lot more than 60,000 euros very recently. So, people are always going to say, oh, it's overvalued, it's overvalued, it's overvalued. And they're technically right. If you look at the land cost and the cost of building a property, it's not, it really is overvalued. But what's making it overvalued is the demand. Where that demand be like real or inflated, that's dictating the current market price. And the market prices are so high. I think they'll continue to climb for the next 3 years until, there has to be some kind of black swan event. But I don't think so. I don't think it's like 2008. I'll explain that another time because, you know, you have all of these big institutional investors just snapping up property. So, um, yeah, I think unfortunately, property prices will continue to increase. But yeah, look, if you found this useful, please subscribe. I'm putting out I've got a Substack, which I will share. And yeah, hopefully I can do more of these videos and keep saving you guys time and money. Thank you.